So remember, you'll be taking that exam during class time. It's not going to be a long exam, just because, this is more about um, definitions, concepts, terminology, and that kind of thing. But just make sure you have 90% grade on all homework assignments. Otherwise, your quiz and your chapter exams don't open up if you don't have that 90% requirement. Additionally, keep in mind that you also must have 90% attendance to be eligible to take your exam. So just kind of keep those minimum requirements in mind. 90% on homework sections, and then 90% on attendance also. All right, looks like we just had one more student come in. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we did last week with those concepts maps. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is Dennis's concept map that we are looking at. And you can see how he's basically used like 4 main areas to define the different terms. So we have, cost, the side effects of traveling, travel method, and the destination. So you can see how, you have your main area. So under the cost, we are looking at the cost for, lodging, airfare, gas. If you're going to go and, do some outings, look at, whatever entertainment you might be interested in. With the travel method, you of course got boat, train, bus, if you're going to fly, drive. And then destination looks like he's broken it down by overseas, beach, or mountains. Not sure, Dennis, if you meant to include hotel, campground, friends, and house in your destination, because I'm not seeing any, arrows, of course, coming out of the destination to those. Same thing with side effects. I'm guessing you meant to say sunburn, acclimate, getting seasick, hiking and swimming. I'm not sure if they are supposed to be part of side effects or you just put it there, but you can see, I think you could have put in a couple more arrows, but then you're making these connections where sunburn can go from, campground to, looks like you've got it going to the mountains and maybe the beach.
Yeah, I
So
miss
just,
getting my destinations, hotel, campgrounds linked to the lodging portion of it.
I see. Okay. Okay, got it. And so you can just kind of see how Dennis did his concept map. And then one of the other ones that I wanted to look at was, this was kind of neat, the way Naomi had hers broken down. So you can see under types of travel, she's got trip. I'm not sure, Naomi, why you put trip in there, because I don't think that was one of our words. But you've definitely got drive. Airfare, of course, goes with flying. Then you've got, are you taking the bus, train? Naomi, that's kind of funny that you put swim in there, because I don't know if somebody really wants to swim to their destination, but it's kind of interesting how you made that connection.
Yeah, that one there's like 2 terms on it that I was kind of confused about. Like I didn't really know where to put it.
Right.
But like, I mean, swimming, you're kind of like, I guess like trips, like, like say like the drive, you can even take like a 5-minute drive or something like that. But like, say for swimming, you can start from this part of the beach and then end up on that part of the beach. So it's kind of, you're still kind of going a distance in a way, I guess. So that's why I kind of put swim in there. But at the same time, I was kind of confused on where to put it.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so you can see like under types of travel, but there's some more information which may not exactly be travel, but you're kind of associating it with travel. And then of course we've got places. So campground, beach, mountains, hotel, lodging, or a friend's house. And then occurrences while traveling. And this is kind of what Dennis, I guess, had as side effects. So acclimation, sunburns, getting seasick, those kind of things. So this was another neat one that Sabri worked on. So you can kind of see how, again, not so much as, breaking it down into categories, but more with like what terms go together. So you can see with fly, typically, you would be flying overseas, which would be the most convenient way to get there, right? Which would include airfare. If you're talking about boating, then, that leads to seasick. You can definitely jump off a boat and swim a little, depending on where you're at. Beach can also lead to swimming. So that's kind of a neat connection there. With lodgings, you've broken it down into hotel, friend's house, or a campground. You can take a train to get to the mountains, or you can drive also to get to the mountains. So just kind of different connections. And, that's the neat thing about how these concept maps work, because like I said, this is very subjective. This is really based upon what you think of how the connections will work. You can again kind of see almost similar to what Dennis had. This one is by Eliza. So you can again see she's broken it down into destination, the negative effects, cost, and transportation of taking a trip. This one was also a little bit different, and you can kind of see how Darla here broke it down into, looks like your two main categories were gas and hiking, and then what each one of those could kind of lead to. So this was just a very different take than what we would imagine. This is again kind of very similar to Eliza's and Dennis's. So, it was really interesting for me to see, as I was looking through all of your concept maps over here, on how you have tried to connect these words in a way, and come up with your categories. Like I said, some of you didn't really do categories. You did more of what words kind of associated with each other. So this is what I would like you guys to do, is something similar, but this time you are using terminology from your statistics. So these are all the words that you have. You can actually also find this document in your class handouts for the Math 092 class. You will see I went ahead and added this PDF document over here. So you can kind of see those words listed here. So this one is basically saying to create a concept map to form a web of connections with the related terms. You can use bubbles for the terms and find appropriate words to form connections. And so, if it helps, you can have your textbook pages open from your statistics course, if having like the definitions and kind of being able to make those connections, if that would help, you can do that. But what I want to do is actually break you guys down into groups, and instead of having each one of you working individually on a concept map, I'm going to put you in groups, so that way you can kind of bounce off the ideas from each other and kind of see, okay, what terms need to be grouped together, what terminology you need to use to make those connections. So let's go ahead. And before I break you guys up into groups, let me go ahead and share this document with you. And like you guys did last time, you should be able to, create a new board for your group and then put your concept map together. So you will see the link for this new Jamboard coming through on our Zoom chat. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you should be able to click on the link and at least start looking at the terminology. And now let me go ahead and put you guys into groups for this activity. So let's see how many of you are there. We've got 17. I think we should be able to do groups of 4. And then one of you might be a student shy. Okay, so looks like it's breaking you guys up into groups of 4, and then one group will have 5. Just, we have an odd number of students in the class. So you guys should see your invitations coming through. Go ahead, accept the invitation, and then you can start working on the concept map. So basically, I would say, make one person maybe the designer of your concept map, and then the rest of you can kind of help each other out in forming your, web of connections and your concept map. So that way you're not, trying to work on top of each other. Okay, and I'll keep popping back in just to see if you guys need any help, okay? All right, good luck, guys. Hey guys, so I was just gonna say, maybe since you're working in a group, maybe have one person who's designing the map for you, so they can actually do the designing. And then you guys can help each other out, because I'm just afraid that if all of you try to design the map together, that you may be, I don't know if there's going to be conflict or not. You can try it or assign one person who can do the designing for you. So whatever works for you, okay? And then I'll keep checking in, trying to see if you guys need any help from me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good luck. Darla, are you trying to get in from a different device? Because it's showing me like you're waiting.
Yeah, it's because I'm in my phone because my computer was being weird. So I'm trying to log in from my computer again because it won't let me access the Jamboard if I don't.
Okay, I will see if it will let me assign you to your room then. Is your
Okay.
Room 2. Okay, so hopefully it will let you come in from your computer also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I was just gonna say, you guys can try, if you wanna assign.
Recording in progress.
Okay, hopefully that should take care of the echo. So if you want, you can assign one person as your, designer for the concept map, or if you guys want to try doing it together, just kind of make sure, you're not like working on top of each other or undoing what one person has done. So just however you work together, but make sure you're collaborating with each other to come up with that concept map, okay? And then I'll check back in to see if you guys need any more help.
Do you have the link? It's not showing up in my chat.
Okay, we'll send it one more time and hopefully you can see it now. Yeah? Awesome. All right, good luck, guys. Hey guys, so I was just going to say, I'm not sure how working in a group with the Jamboard will work. If you guys can work together, that would be great. And if it seems like you're kind of working on top of each other, you can assign one person to just kind of draw the map for you, but then, just everybody can give their own input and see, what your connections are coming out to be. So I'm not sure, because I've never used Jamboard with a group activity before. So like I said, if it feels like you're working on top of each other, then just assign somebody to design the board for you. Okay, and I'll pop back in to see if you guys need any more help from me or anything like that.
Should we just start from the first one or go down, or I don't know how you guys want to do this from like the concept list?
I think that we should start with the word statistics just because maybe
It's like
that's
Let's see. We could like do like statistic variable and data, and then like put each kind of like each one.
Yeah,
So we could do like that thing for variable, and then we could branch it out to all the different types.
who is on this? What the heck? Okay. So we were doing
I think variables, no, because then there's different types of variables. So it'd be like one of the subs would be variable, and then from there it could be random variables, no, not them. Qualitative, quantitative, discrete, and continuous.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another one could be like, I guess, sample or measurements.
yeah. I can see that.
Connected. Maybe we connect the inferral and the descriptive to the data.
I think those two, I don't see anything else that they would connect to. Besides maybe data sets
So I was
or
thinking
data
more
only.
a little 10 action like that. Little. So the statistics come and we get either descriptive stats or inferral stats. These are all determined by what data or datum set we get back from our variables. So I think like the variable, the data, and the random variables.
Is that the one that you said? Or no, discrete variables, you know?
yeah, discrete and continuous.
Okay, I see it now.
Yes.
And then the same with the other variables? Or quantitative variables, or is that different?
I would do those.
Yeah, we could do that.
Is that the same word? No. Okay. Did you see that? So all the blues are gonna be like what you would take from like if you were to take a thing. Like if you were to take a survey, that's what I'm looking for. That's what,
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's like, yeah. That's why I did it that way.
So are they in their permanent places right now?
No, you can move them wherever you want to. I just think it makes sense to have them blue because I feel like those are the stuff you get after taking a survey of people. Those are like the answers you get.
variable. Then what words do we have left? I guess we could just write measurements.
That's the that I took, so I'm not 100.
Because I guess I'm just going based off like the definitions, since quantitative is like variables that can be counted or measured, and then discrete can be counted, or like the assumed values that can be counted, and then qualitative is just distinct categories by characteristics, and continuous variables is between two specific values,
So
and they often include fractions and decimals. So I mean, I guess I don't know how I would like break them up.
let's see. Qualitative. Okay. Look at her. So we said we'd have like a random variable. Then you guys can kind of fix, because I'm not sure. I mean, what was the other one? So random. And then
So are we just putting the different types of variables under the little sub thing of variable?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Ah,
So are you guys done?
no.
Okay.
Which slide are we working on?
Yeah, are we board 2?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, I was under the impression that we were on board too.
No, you guys are one.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I've been
Yeah, but we
working on
couldn't be
somebody
on board.
else's board for them then. No, board one is the list, ma'am.
Yeah, we couldn't be on one.
We chose board two right out the gate.
Yeah. No. One. Like the board.
What board would you like us to work on, ma'am? Because this is where we started here on 4 or on number 2.
Okay.
We were group 1, so we assumed we took the first board.
Okay, so looks like the board on page number 2 is actually breakout group 3. Because that's Haley, Jean, Elise, and Eliza.
Okay,
On page 3, it says breakout group 2. And page 4 is group 4. So I'm not seeing a page for you guys. Because the rest of them are all blank after that.
We were working on page 2 and then it ended up that both groups were on that page.
Oh, so you guys are working with the second group, which was group 3 actually. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if I can copy that over to a new one and you guys can work on that. Let me see if it will let me do that. Okay, I thought I duplicated it, but I'm not seeing it. Let me try it one more time. Okay, so you said group page 3. Okay. Okay, so screen number 3 or page number 3 in the Jamboard is where I have created a duplicate. So group number 1, if you guys will go and kind of rearrange that how you wanted to and just change the name from group 3 to, group 1 so everybody knows that's for you. Does that work?
done.
Awesome. Hey guys, so just kind of wanted to give you an update. Group 1 mistakenly thought they were group 3, so I think they were kind of working with you guys.
Oh,
They just kept like adding things, so we would just delete what they were adding because it was like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we're-
apparently they got confused that they were group 3 and were trying to work with you guys. And then, obviously, like I said, that creates conflict. So I have moved them to a different page. So hopefully now it should be only your group working.
Okay,
with this
thank you.
Yeah. Because I saw your message saying group 3 people only, and I was like, okay, something's going on here.
Yeah.
So I think it's taken care of now, but you guys are doing a good job. I like the way you have organized your concept map. Very nicely done, guys.
They did the same thing we did. Okay, yep. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, how are we looking here, folks?
It's confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a little while, just because you have to figure out how you want to group. And that's why I was saying, if it helps, kind of have your either the textbook pages or the handouts open on your computer, so you can kind of look at the definitions and see what terms would go together. I think that would really make a huge difference.
Okay. Yeah, I had the textbook open too. I was kind of going back and forth with the terms and everything.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think what I'm seeing right now, it definitely looks like you guys have a good hold on it. So keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Confusing.
Hey guys, how are we doing?
Doing good.
Okay, very good.
I have a question.
Sure.
Would would population be considered like under data set, since in order to get like a sample, you need a population for a data set? Or would data set just be like its own little thing?
So your data set would actually be more like, once you have your sample selected and the values you assign to them, that would actually be your data set. So the population is just trying to think if we can connect those two together. I mean, technically, the data you will be collecting, will be coming from your population. So I would imagine the population is the bigger group from where you will be getting your data values from.
So data wouldn't be our bigger group?
Would data be a bigger group?
Because like the way that we were thinking, it'd be data and then population and then sample.
Oh, I see.
Or generally, like, I guess I can see where it would be from population. You can either get your data, which will get you to your data set, or you're also getting your sample from it, which can be in any of these samples.
Honestly, to me, it sounds like it should be able to work both ways, right? Because you would almost be identifying what your data should look like, right? Because you would kind of have an idea. So you could say, this is the study that I am doing, and this is what I'm looking for. So you're identifying your data and then breaking down what your population will be. So it almost seems like it should be able to work in either direction.
Okay, so like maybe we could just connect both of them and have like separate groups still, but have like kind of like a line connecting with both of them.
Yeah, you could almost do like, kind of a two-headed arrow almost, like it can go back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say that should work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so I kind of just like laid it out like.
So do we have 27 sticky notes minus our name sticky note? Because there's 27 terms on the sheet.
I just actually went through every word and we do have them all.
We have 26. Got continuous and discrete, qualitative, quantitative, inferential, descriptive, sample population, data value, or datum, data set, random variable. Where Where should random variable go? And the word variable are the two we're missing.
Sorry, random was under data and then it got deleted.
Under data set, datum,
That's where it was. I don't know where we should put it.
Are you guys close to being done?
I have a question for you. Is it going to be a problem that ours is pretty similar to 3 since we kind of started working on it at the same time? Because they're very similar.
I mean, you know, as long as you have your own reasoning for the connections that you've made, right? Like the way you are grouping the terms and stuff together. If the design aspect is looking very similar, that's fine. Just make sure the way you are connecting, it's making sense to you guys why you put those words together, you know, and if whatever you had initially, if you need to kind of rearrange some of them, that's fine. But yeah, if design wise it looks similar, I'm not worried about that. I'm more interested in how you are connecting the different terms together. So how much longer do you think you need to wrap everything up?
I would say we're on probably final touches and just making sure everything connects correctly. So I wouldn't say much longer.
Okay, I'll give you guys a couple more minutes to finish everything and then try and bring everybody back together so we can see what everyone did, okay? Hey guys, are you almost done?
Yeah, I think we only have a couple more. Well, how many more?
I think we mainly only have like the measurements.
Okay, so take a couple minutes and then we'll try and bring everybody together, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Hi guys, how are we looking?
We're all finished.
You're all finished. Oh, wonderful. Alrighty, so the other groups are just wrapping up the last parts. I'll give them maybe a minute and then bring everybody together.
Cool.
Awesome.
We are in blue.
Okay.
Are you guys almost done?
Yeah, we need like probably like 5 more minutes.
Oh, I'm not sure I can give you 5 more minutes. I can give you a couple more minutes and then bring everybody back.
Are they already done?
One group is done. The other two were maybe a minute away from being done. So we can let them, kind of discuss what they did first, and that should give you guys time to wrap up what you are doing, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, awesome.
Mm,
So those two are together, correct? Right?
yeah, and
Yeah,
so
okay.
I was gonna put these under the sampling methods.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what you guys came up with. And I know one of the groups was just wrapping up last part of their, just the last part. So give me a minute here and I'll bring us all together. Okay, so we'll go in order of group number. So we'll start with the first group. And, go to group 2 and then group 3. So let me share my screen over here and let's see if I can find where group 1 is. I think I might have just skipped over you guys. Okay, so this third screen in the Jamboard belonged to group 1. So anyone from that first group, would you like to walk us through your concept map, please?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically statistics is you're getting a statistic about something. Your statistics come basically in two forms, descriptive or inferential. Either it's a fact or it's an association, all of which derives from the data that is collected and analyzed. The data is basically collected from a sample, which is taken from a population. So you can see on our sample side, we had basically the 4 types of samples you could take with the added random convenience sample, which isn't really a sample. And your samples could be biased or unbiased. Your measurements of how you're measuring things can be of 4 different levels. Measurements and how you choose and get your sample can be influenced by different variables. Your descriptive stats come strictly from a number, basically a fact, where your inferential all either comes from qualitative or quantitative data, which the quantitative side is either a discrete variable, which gives you a descriptive statistic, or a continuous type of variable, which requires additional analysis, i.e. it's not a fixed number.
Okay. One thing I would like to point out to group 1, it doesn't seem like you have made any connections between your variable, random variable, and your qualitative, quantitative. Aren't those variables also?
Yes, they are. There should have probably been a link there, but I think we were thinking you're going to see the variables and the randoms more in the measurement not the end result. The variables are going to affect the measurement, changing the results that you get.
Okay. It's kind of interesting that you are thinking of them as being almost not connected, but again, think about it. Even if you are looking at the different levels of measurement, those measurements are coming from either random or not random variables, and you have those connections, obviously, as you can see here. But I would say you should also broaden it to include your qualitative, quantitative, and the discrete and continuous variable also, because a lot of times they are all going to be tied together. But I can I kind of like the way you guys did this, and I know there was a little confusion with your group and group number 3 kind of working on the same page initially, so you will probably see a little bit of an overlap in the way the concept map looks, but overall I think you guys did a good job. All right, how about we move on to group 2? And again, if someone from group 2 would just kind of highlight what your thinking process was as you were coming up with your concept map.
So kind of like what we were thinking is statistics. We broke it up into 2 major groups, which is a descriptive statistics and inferential, but they all, I mean, both of them rely on data. So in order to get data, you could either get population and then a sample, which led to the other clusters, or you could get variables from a data set or measurements from data too. That's why we kind of put data and datum in the middle.
Okay, yeah, it kind of seems like after you break the statistics down into its 2 different areas, it just kind of seems like then you are looking at data as kind of being your main driving force, and everything kind of, breaking down from there, it kind of seems like.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. And again, kind of what I said to the first group, you guys should again think of how you can connect the different variables with the levels of measurement, with the different sampling techniques, because again, it's really nice the way, and I really like the color coding and stuff you guys did here. But again, I would think about, a little bit more of a bigger picture of how these can also be connected with each other. But again, great job, guys, done very nicely. How about we move on to group 3? And again, if anybody from group 3 would kind of just give us a general idea of your process here.
Okay, so we put statistics is huge with data and descriptive stats and inferential stats. It looks a lot like group 1's just because, yeah.
You guys were kind of starting out on the same page initially.
Yeah. So descriptive stats are like they have a lot to do with the population, which is also a sample. That's where you get most of your samples is from the population, and we have all different types of samples in there. Your data set is going to be a measurement. There should be a line between datum and sampling error. That's my bad. But
okay.
Anyway, so we've got qualitative and quantitative data, and then so there's the discrete variable and the continuous variable, and that all ties into our regular variables. That's why we have discrete and continuous in there twice, because
I see that.
Yeah, because and yeah,
very interesting. Yeah, it looks like you brought your qualitative, quantitative in with the variables, but then you kind of took a separate approach with just the data also breaking down into those 2 categories.
Yeah, because we color coded everything, so we wanted it to be organized, but yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. First time I've kind of seen that, but it works for sure. All righty, very good. So that brings us to the last group, group 4. If you wouldn't mind walking us down through your process here. And of course, as you can see, your concept map looks a lot different than the others. So if you would just kind of walk us down your path here.
Okay, so for our group, we kind of separated it, you know, variable, well, the main is statistics, obviously. And we've broken it down to variable, sample, data, and levels of measurement. As you can see, the variables, you know, random variable, discrete, qualitative, sorry, I'm not pronouncing that right, but all in green, all the sampling, such as population, cluster, systematic, are all in yellow. Data is all in orange, and levels of measurement, everything that had to do with that is all in pink. So we just kind of color coordinated it like that, kind of just took the big words and then everything that had to do with those big words or big categories, we just kind of organized it like that.
Okay, so are you going in order of top to bottom? Like what's your connections over here? Since you don't really have arrows or lines connecting your different, you know, sticky notes, what's your order of flow over here?
Yeah, it's basically top to bottom, how you
Yeah.
said.
Okay,
Or top boxes are like subjects, basically.
okay,
And going off just each subject, like what goes into that category. So,
okay. Yeah, because you know what I would have done is I would have put the population, you know, at the top and sample, because, you know, from the population, you are getting your sample, right? So you
Mhm.
want to kind of rearrange that a little bit. And then same thing over here, your discrete and continuous variables are a subsection almost of your quantitative, because, you know, quantitative is anything that can be counted and measured, and then discrete is where you count your data, and continuous is, you know, where you measure. So just a little bit of reorganization, but I can kind of see how your grouping works. I think you could have just done a little bit more with the flow, like how you have your level of measurement, and level of measurement, there's really no hierarchy because it's just the different ways you do that. But, you know, same thing over here, your data set should have gone on the top, and data value or datum, because data values are what each individual item in a data set is called. Now, I'm a little confused with the descriptive and inferential statistics, because you put it under data, because, you know, that's where statistics breaks down into the two main areas. So, you know, again, just a little bit of reorganization, and I think you guys would have had a good flow. But I really like the way, again, you had a whole different approach on how you guys broke down your concept map. So it's really nice to see, you know, 4 different groups, and each of you had a little bit of a different approach to how you were combining all these terminologies together. So keep in mind, since this is going to be a big part of what chapter 1 is going to be about, having a good flow and understanding how each of these are connected will really help you do better on the exam, because, you know, obviously you're going to have some definition questions, you will have some, you know, kind of filling the blanks, and then of course some of the basic like different scenarios and situations where they then ask you to identify, you know, what kind of variable or level of measurement or you know, samples and that kind of thing you are looking at. But overall, I would say great job, guys. I really like the way you guys all collaborated with each other and try to come up with your different concept maps. So since we're already at 2:45, let's go ahead and take our break, since we're already 10 minutes, you know, outside of our 092 class. Let's take our 10-minute break now, and then we'll come back. My computer's saying it's 2:46. So let's come back at 2:56, and then we'll start our Math 135 class, okay? So let's take a break, guys, and see you soon.